Hello, what's this week's Devil in the Detail podcast? I'm Rob Parkinson, and we're here talking all things Salford Red Devils. Joining the show this week, as ever, got Paul Whiteside. How is Easter treating you, my friend?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. I've enjoyed it. I've had 4 days off work, so it's been cool. I thought I was working on. I thought I was working Good Friday. I had all my stuff packed, ready to go, and then the lady in the office phoned me and went, "No, you're not working. You're off." So I was like, "Oh, great, bonus." So yeah, it's been good. It's been nice to have a bit of time off work and watch a bit of rugby and spend a bit of time with the kids and what have you. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. How's your Easter been?
Yeah, glorious eggs everywhere, chocolate eggs, tempting me to eat them, but only the dark chocolate ones, 85% chocolate. That's what I'm allowed to eat. You ever had that 85% chocolate, Paul?
Like plain chocolate.
Well, it's 85% cocoa in it.
Oh right, I don't know. Probably
Don't,
not then. No,
yeah.
it's only Cadbury's I think in our house.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not the best, but it's the only one. It's the one that's best for me, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
used to eating them kind of eggs, but it is what
yeah,
it is. I'm not a massive chocolate fan as it is, so I'll just get involved because it's Easter and everyone gets involved at Easter, don't they?
yeah, yeah. I'm not a big like sweet sort of person, lover to be honest. I don't eat much chocolate really. Only what the kids say from. I like Haribos. I like sweet. I never used to do, but over the last few years I like sweets. Like I like
Oh
the
yeah,
sugar, Yeah, the kids always have like Haribos and stuff like that. So I'm quite partial to them, especially when gym or something. And, you need a bit of sugar, I'll have a few Haribos or a few wine gums or something. But no, they've got plenty of chocolate and I think they got like a bar of chocolate off the granddad, a mini eggs one, but it's massive. It's like a paving slab. So I don't know when they're going to eat that. You flag your driveway with it. So that's been in the cupboard. They're not having that this week. They can have it rationed to them because otherwise they'll be off the red. They're off for another week. So they're having all that sugar.
that's the thing when with the Easter and chocolate, the kids just don't know. Do they? They start like eating chocolate for breakfast, and it's just all down from there, innit?
Well, I know Ellen's dad told me. Ellen told me that her dad used to do a trick with her and her sister years ago, where they used to get all the Easter eggs that they got, break them all up, and put them in bags and share them out. Like tax, take a bit off them as tax. Like so, sometimes you better have doing that, aren't you, with kids? But no, it's been good fun, right? It's been nice to have some time off, and the weather's been pretty good as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was decent. So bank holiday one is a bit of a washout, but it always is, isn't it?
Yeah. So lots to go at. Obviously, the victory against Leigh. We haven't got much news because we're doing this on Monday night, so we haven't got any team news or news in general because there isn't any news yet. So just keep your eye out on the club social, and they'll be able to tell you what's happening before the game against Castleford, and we're also going to preview the ladies' game, their first Super League 2 fixture is against Castleford Tigers ladies on Sunday, so we'll have a quick look at that as well. So we'll start with the victory against Leigh on Saturday. So Salford Devils were victorious away at Leigh in the derby. They won 22 points to 20. Paul, obviously real tough fixture, but we got the 2 points.
Yeah, I expected a tough fixture. I think Leigh have been really good this season. They've not been the rubbing rags that everybody sort of perhaps thought they were going to be. And when they've been in Super League in previous years, they've struggled, haven't they? And we only got a handful of victories, but they've won 3 games already. And the games that they've lost, barring the Wigan game, they've been really competitive in. So I was expecting a really tough game. I mean, they're not the Leigh of a few years ago. Now they've got some really proven players, haven't they? Proven English players, British players, Australian players. And they've got a really healthy and good squad. So they're expecting a tough game, and I was impressed with Salford, to be honest with you. I mean, considering we've got 1 or 2 players out, and I'm not giving his excuses, but we've got some players out like Oliver Partington and Gerard. In the pack we're a bit low. And I thought we did really well. I thought we went there, did a real professional job, and I think the scoreline flattered Leigh slightly. I thought we was comfortable in the game really, and yeah, I was very very pleased, delighted to get the 2 points. I mean, I remember saying to my dad before the game, and our imaging one was on the way to the game. I just settle for a win today. Whether it's a 1 point win or whatever, we just needed to get the 2 points and just keep that cushion. But the teams below us, and that was the good thing. We got the points, and yeah, I was happy with that.
Yep, Leigh opened the scoring. Try from Josh Charnley. Error from us. Took advantage. Reynolds found Charnley. Looping pass went over in the corner for Leigh's first try. Obviously, we were in a bit of we were stunned, I think, at that point because we gave a penalty away shortly after to make it 6-0, and that was after kind of 8 minutes. And obviously, Leigh had got the early score, which is what we didn't want.
Yeah, and I thought we looked a bit, like a rabbit in the headlights early on in the game, and we were discipline was poor. We give a few penalties away. There was a few high tackles, and players didn't seem to find their feet. I think King Vuniyawa gave a couple of penalties away and looked a bit off the pace early doors. So, but you've got to give Leigh a bit of credit. I mean, that edge they've got there with Charnley on, it's a good edge, that, and he's a cracking player, Josh Charnley, and he's got so much pace and he can finish as well, can't he? He's a super finisher, so really exciting player on that side for them. So yeah, it was a good start for Leigh and not for us.
Yeah, so obviously, like you say, Leigh went off quick, but we find a way back in. Danny Addy went off with a head knock. Chris Atkin came on after around about 12 minutes, and he just changed the game totally.
Chris Atkin did, yeah. He's super player, Chris Atkin. I mean, he's so versatile, and in that game, he took some big hits in that game as well. And he just bounces back up. He never whinges. He never moans to the referees. He's an absolute warrior, Chris Atkin. And he's a super, super player. Probably one of the most underrated players in Super League, and a player that slot into any other club in the Super League. He'd get in anybody's team. Fantastic player. And yeah, he came on, and I thought he was a difference in that first half between the two sides. He helped us pull away from Leigh, really, those 3 tries that we got. And yeah, super from Chris Atkin. And unfortunate for Danny Addy going off, he took a few bangs there. And he did come back on, didn't he? So I think he passed it. Went back off again after that. I think perhaps Paul a bit of precaution there.
Yeah, basically for 15 minutes, Leigh never touched the ball, and Salford, playing playing rally ball, played really well. Made a lot of moves, got a lot of repeat sets. Leigh had a pat down on Croft, and then off the back of that, Salford scored with Ken Seal kind of moved from left to right. Atkin, Croft, really involved. Little kick through. Seal grabbed the ball and went over for Salford their first try.
Yeah, measured kick from Ryan Brierley and Ken Seal. I thought he finished that really, really well. And we did take our chances from there. We were dominant there. I think we stamped our authority on the game. And when we upped the ante, Leigh couldn't really live with us. And it was a bit like that in the first game. To be honest with you, watching that game back, it was almost a carbon copy of the first game we played on the first game of the season. Leigh scored first. We took a bit of a lead and dominated the game, and we had a man sin bin the same as we did in the first game. So it was a bit surreal, really. But no, it was a good try that from CO, and that's what you've got with Ryan Brierley. He's a cracking player to have in the team. He can come up with kicks like that, and yeah, super finish from CO.
Yeah. So, like you said before, Salford dominant in possession at that point. We got a set restart, drop out Leigh, and then Salford went over with a lovely try from Sam Stone. Lovely little sidestep, and big long legs of his found his way over the line to put Salford 10-6 up.
Yeah, he's a tall lad, Sam Stone, isn't he? But he's not the biggest of blokes. He's built more like a boxer, isn't it? There's nothing of him. You see rugby players sometimes and they're a bit more meat on them, but I'm not saying he's a small bloke, but he's funny to look at. Really, he doesn't really look like a rugby league player, but I thought he had his best game in Salford shirt on Saturday. Sam Stone, I thought he was excellent. He worked so hard in defence, and that was a cracking try. That he really stepped well there for that one, and yeah, very pleased for him because he's settling in now as a good back rower alongside Shane Wright, who's been absolutely outstanding there in the back row. So yeah, we've got two decent second row men there, and you have got Callum Watkins as well. So yeah, very very pleased for Sam Stone, and glad he could get over a try.
Yeah, and then what do? We do what top teams do, Paul. Back-to-back tries. Lovely work by Chris Atkin. He found Shane Wright. He passed it to Brodie Croft. And Brodie Croft went under the posts. I thought the money ball was all about Atkin. I thought that was a wonderful ball from him to send right through the gap. And Brodie Croft does what Brodie Croft does. Right time, right place, under the posts. And Salford were in control at 16-6.
Yeah, it was a cracking try, and he ran a good line there. Did Shane Wright? I mean, just singing his praises there. I think he did an awful lot of work in that game, a lot of tackling, made a lot of meters. And yeah, he's a bit of a gem, is Shane Wright. He's another one that would go into any side there in the Super League. You need back rowers like that. And yeah, tremendous player. Like you said, Atkin, the creator, and Brodie Kraft, the finisher. He's always in the right place at the right time, backs up superbly. And yeah, it was a picture book try, that really. And as you said, back-to-back tries. And that's how you put teams to bed. That's how you win matches. And yeah, 16-6, we was looking good then.
Yeah, obviously Leigh did muster up some steam after that. They had a disallowed try just after that, where it was judged as a forward. I think it was Lamb to O'Donnell. For me, it was flat at best. I know if you look throughout the season, you'll have good decisions, you'll have bad decisions against your team, but this one was certainly in our favour for me.
Yeah, I think it evens itself out, Rob. I mean, I did the Josh Charnley try that he scored. The second try, I didn't think that was a try. I didn't think Ryan Briley's sin bin was a sin bin. I thought that was really soft. So, and I thought the first try Leigh scored looked a bit forward. So, I think these things even themselves out, don't they? I'd like to think so anyway. I mean, we've been there twice and I'd had to play a sin bin in both the games. So I don't really think Leigh can have any complaints. I wasn't so sure. I saw that. It's hard to tell sometimes with it when the ball's a flat ball like that. Looking back on the replay on the television, again, you couldn't really tell. I mean, it looked like he'd ran onto it and just overran it slightly, but I don't know. Sometimes it's that's why they don't go to the video referee, because they're so hard. And you talk about that momentum rule and things like that. And if a player moves and he carries on, it is hard. It's hard to judge a forward pass. It really is.
Yeah. So we got to half time at 16-6, Paul. And for me, that 15-minute period, sort of midway through that first half, was the big sort of moment for me. So if we were, turned the screw and got the points. And at 16-6, I was thinking, yeah, we're in control here. Just, keep doing what you're doing and we'll see the game out.
Yeah. Did Brian Briley get sin bin at 16-6? Because I know he come up
did.
with a try-saving tackle, didn't he?
He did.
Leigh had a bit of pressure there. He come up with that. And I thought that would disappoint. I mean, I've not seen that back yet, but I didn't see... You're always going to get sin bin for something like that, because I suppose they class it as a professional foul, don't it? But I didn't think he pulled the Leigh guy. I thought he tackled him and then he just sort of chucked himself on the floor really and done Ryan there on that one. So it's difficult, isn't it? You come up with a tackle like that. The referees are always going to go for that professional foul route, aren't they? And sin bin you. But I thought we defended heroically when Ryan was off. We only conceded one try. I think Briscoe scored, didn't he? And we really pulled together there. And to be honest with you, I thought Leigh were pretty poor on the edge that Chamberlain was on. They blew it a few times, didn't they? They had Chamberlain, Briscoe on that side, and they had a few chances where they overcooked it. I think they had a 3-1 overlap on one of them and somehow didn't score. So I think when Ryan was off, we actually were 6-4. We scored 6 points and they scored 4, didn't we? So we weathered that storm, really.
Yeah, it was basically first 2 sets were traded and then Leigh made a break. Is it Mbappe? There's their hooker.
Apape.
That's him. Yeah, made a break. And like I say, Ryan Briley was sin binned, kind of holding his leg up in the air. I can't see what he was doing. He was trying to get round back on side, but he kept his leg in the air. So I think it was a fair shout. But like you said, in that period where we were down to 12 men, we came off, better. We scored more points than they did. They had to work hard. Let's not be fair. Let's not sugarcoat it. If you're down to 12 men in the bear pit away from home at Leigh, they will throw the kitchen sinker, which is what they did. But we stood tall and got our rewards, didn't we? They scored a try from Briscoe. Where I think Chris Atkin try saver in the middle of that, but obviously just postponed the Leigh try until Briscoe went over maybe next tackle.
Yeah, it's difficult to keep a side out when you're a man down, isn't it? But especially a side like Leigh, who've got so many threats in the team as well. Like you said, Apape there, the hooker, I think is an excellent player. They've got some real strike players on the edges as well. So it was always going to be difficult. So I think to just keep them down to 4 points, though, Ryan Briley was off, was probably what won us the game, really, wasn't it? So that spell in the first half where we got the back-to-back tries and then that spell defending there really kept us in front.
Yeah, I think the big moment was Leigh had the tails up. They were around our line again, but they knocked on Watkins was involved in the tackle. Ball was dislodged. We got a penalty off the back of it, and then we had the sort of the territory and the ball for Tyler Dupree to burst through the Leigh defensive line and score. Lovely assist by Mark Sneed, showing the defence the ball, and then shot past Dupree, who has been in great form all season. Powered through the gap and crashed over by the posts.
Yeah, I think what won us the game though as well was that defence. They had a lot of ball, Leigh, in both halves, but particularly in that second half. In the first sort of 20 minutes after half time, they had a lot of possession and couldn't break us down really. Lachlan Lamb was running all over the show, and Apapi, the hooker as well. They were flinging the ball out wide and going left to right, and they couldn't break us down there. And then we got our chance, didn't we? Mark Sneed set up Tyler Dupree, and he ran a perfect line there, did Tyler, and a lovely step, and there was no one going to stop him, was there, going over the line there. And great to see him score as well. He's becoming a real hero with the Salford supporters, and long may that continue because he's a real character. And I think we've got ourselves a gem there in Tyler. I think he's a top forward, definitely an international quality. People will be looking at him now for England. He's got everything. He's got the physique. He's got the pace. He's got the power. Yeah, we've got a gem there.
Yep. So 22-10 Salford. 20 minutes to go. Leigh came again. Try from Charlie. Video referee decision. I thought it was a bit touch and go. I think it was it Shane Wright nearly got there, touched the ball down. But you have to give Charlie, a bit of praise for him to be able to get out the field, get back in the field, and put the ball down in a millisecond. Shows how good of a winger he is for me.
Yeah, it was. I've not seen it back, but the only thing that sort of I think it's a bit controversial sometimes. Like he gives no try on the field as his live call, and then it goes upstairs. So I thought if you had to turn it over, there had to be, it had to be clear as day for you to turn it over. But he went upstairs, and they were looking at it for about 5 or 10 minutes, from all the angles. So to me, they couldn't have been convinced because they had to look at it so many times. So if you've got to look at it that many times, don't you go with the referee's call of try? So really, that on-field decision of try, there's no point in having that. The referee might as well just say, I'm going to the big screen. There's no point in him saying, they might as well scrap that on-field decision because it doesn't make any difference. Because there's no point in saying, oh, I think it's a try. So if you think it's a try, give it then. Don't go to the video referee. It just sort of scratches over it, really, doesn't it? And makes it a bit grey. So yeah, I couldn't really tell him. I could only see the big screen in the ground, and it looked like he bounced it to me, Charlie. But if he did get his hand on it, it was a good finish because, like you said, he went out of the field of play. But that's what you get with Josh Charlie. He's a quality player, isn't he? And he's got a fantastic try record at every club that he's played for. So yeah, it put Leigh right back in the game.
Yeah, Leigh came hunting again. Costello came out the line, diffused a bit of danger. We got the penalty shortly after, put us up the field a bit more, and we had a bit of period on their line, which is obviously, as the clock ticked down, Paul, it's a strange situation where do you take your 2 points or do you go for penalties in that situation? Obviously, in previous games, this season we've done both. We've ran the ball and we took penalty kicks. So it was interesting to see that we decided to sort of play out. Unfortunately, I think we turned it over after a couple of tackles, which is probably gave Paul Rowley a bit of a heart attack because he obviously wanted him to play the clock down.
I thought it was the right decision. I think when you're 8 points up, there's probably no point in kicking for goal because it's only going to give you a 10-point lead. So what's 8 and 10? Because they're going to kick the ball back down the other end of the field, and you make a mistake there, then they're right on your line again. So I think you're best off playing the game in their half, definitely. So I agree with that. I think if it had been a 10-point lead and you're kicking to make it 12 points, then yeah, go for it. Or if you've got a 12-point lead and you're going to go for 14 points, yeah. But if it's 8 till 10. They scored 2 tries. It's neither here there. So I agree with that one. I mean, I watched a bit of the Huddersfield Leeds game on Monday, and Huddersfield made that mistake. That they kicking for goal, and it came back to haunt them again. Leeds winning at the end. So I think sometimes especially for them, because I think Leeds had a player in the sin bin. So if you've got that and the side's down to 12 men, you've got to run it, haven't you? Surely you've got to, you're playing against 12. You've got to go for it. So I think sometimes teams can be a bit too cautious. So I was pleased we ran that there because we had Leigh on the ropes, didn't they? He'd done a bit of tackling, and if we'd have scored another try, that'd have been good night in Vienna anyway. But yeah, I think it was the right decision at the time.
Yeah. So what pleased me really towards the back end of that, when Leigh were ramping the pressure, was a couple of sort of clever plays to buy us penalties. Burgess ran out of retreating Reynolds and caused the referee to give Reynolds offside, and then sort of Briley passed to Kensio under pressure on our own line, which gave us a bit of width to get out. Obviously Ryan Briley has spoke to us, didn't he, in the last press conference about, not being as nervous in that situation, because that's the Paul Rowley way, and they know what they're doing. But it gives you a bit of heartburn. But like you say, you have to believe you have to trust the process, and like I said, they trust the process is working.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, there's been a few times out there where you get these heart in the mouth moments. I think we made a bit of a cock up, didn't we, against Huddersfield? But I don't like the way we sort of fling the ball all over the place, sort of 10 yards from our own line. But a lot of teams are doing that now, aren't they? Taking the chances and what have you. But no, I like to be safety first, especially near my old try line. But Ryan Briley likes to throw these passes out, and yeah, 9 times out of 10 they've come off, haven't they?
Yeah. So like you say, Leigh came out of the death, scored a try at the end, but like I said, the time did tick down. They did have sort of a wobble in the last sort of 10 seconds where they were going left to right, trying to find something, but we just kept our nerve, killed the ball, and the 2 points came back to Salford.
Yeah, and I think rightly so, Rob. I think we were the better side. And listening to what Adrian Lamb, I just read what he said in the press conference in League Express today, and it was more or less what I said. The scoreline flattered Leigh, and I think it did. I think we were the better side, and we deserved to win the game on the whole. I think we controlled the game better than Leigh did. Leigh never really had control on the game, did they, barring that first try. So yeah, really pleased to get the 2 points. And it's a tough place to go. That they'll win some games at home this season. They're a good side, and yeah, it was good for us to get the 2 points because it's given us 8 points now, and it's kept us up that top end of the table. You lose that game and you start looking at teams behind you, and they start to catch you up. So we've just kept that gap, and obviously if we can beat Cass this week, it makes the gap even more. So yeah, it was great to get the 2 points.
Yeah. Looking at the stats, top tacklers, Callum Watkins 34, Andy Ackers 28, Chris Atkin 28, Shane Wright 48. Obviously forwards working hard there.
Oh yeah, Shane Wright I thought was absolutely outstanding. There's a few people you could say from man of the match. I mean, Tyler Dupree played massive minutes again. Chris Atkin was awesome. I thought all through the game. Shane Wright as well. 3 blokes there who stood out. Sam Stone, another one. So yeah, I mean Shane Wright, the 40-odd tackles and the amount of work he does going forward as well. He's a real grafter. Sometimes you don't notice the work that he does, that sort of mopping up and grafting work that he does. But yeah, he's a no-nonsense forward, Shane Wright, and he's been a great signing for us.
Yeah, and obviously you need that in good teams. It's not all about the flash and the flair. You need your players to work and graft to get you in the positions to allow your flair players to make the big plays.
Yeah, and especially at the moment, like we said before, with the personnel we're missing in the forwards. We've not had Adam Sidlow in there for a few weeks. I'm not sure what's up with Adam. And you've got Gerrard and Partington, who are big players for us. They're a big part of our pack, the cornerstone of that pack, and they've both been missing. So your other players have had to come in and do big minutes and play big minutes, like Shane Wright, Sam Stone, Tyler Dupree. So yeah, it's tough on them at the moment. We've not got a massive squad of forwards, so I think they've really stood up and been counted. And we said that last week on the podcast, didn't we? That if we were to beat Leigh, our forwards would have to win that battle, and I think they did.
Yeah, I thought they were good. I thought, like I say, they deserved it. Leigh, I thought, were the better team in periods, but we were good enough at certain moments to win the match, and that's important. It doesn't matter whether you're good for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, as long as you're posting points in that period and sort of defending well and playing well and making sort of game management decisions correct, you end up winning the game, which is what we did.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to my dad on the way to the game, and he was saying about scoring points. He was saying, I don't think we score enough points this season. We scored 60 against Hull, but if you look back at the other games, we haven't scored more than 20, have we? I mean, the Wakefield game, I think we got 14. We got 12 did we against OKR. Huddersfield last week. I'm not sure. I mean, we got last week against Huddersfield. We didn't get more than 20 though, did we? So, yeah, it's been strange. So he was saying to me on the way to the ground, he said, if we can score more than 20 points today, we'll win the game. And we did. We scored 22. So
yeah,
I think it's right that I think if you can score more than 20 points in a match, you'll win more games than you lose, won't you? So yeah, we put ourselves in with a good chance there by taking our chances, didn't we, in scoring tries. So and it helps when you've got a good goal kicker like Mark Sneed pinging them over, because you look at Ben Reynolds for Leigh, he missed quite a few of their kicks, didn't he? And psychological that. I mean, you miss the kicks, you lose the game, don't you? So yeah, I think we deserved it. I think we worked really, really hard, and it was a very, very tough game, very, very tough game, and I think we expected that.
Yeah. Top meter makers: Kensio 94, Brody Croft 114, Andy Ackers 82, Shane Wright 119, Dion Cross 103, and Callum Watkins 74, Mike Costello 74. So, like I always say, if you get 4 or 5 over 100, you're doing well. We got 3, nearly 4, which is great. Obviously, you do need to go forward in these games.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, definitely. The forwards have got to work hard, and Leigh got a pretty big pack as well, haven't they? So Shane Wright again there, you mentioned, and Ken. So I thought Ken, it was one of his best games of the season. I've sort of looked at Ken last few weeks and thought, hey, it looks like he's carrying a bit of an injury, and sometimes he's working really hard, but he's not getting the breaks. He's not looking as sharp as he normally does. And was he playing through the pain barrier? But he looked his self again on Saturday. He looked sharp. He looked quick. And very pleased for him to get over for a try as well. So, Jay looks like he's back to his best.
Yeah, big thanks for your 3-word match reports and man of the matches. Patrick Conley, come more to come. Atkin, Stephen Doyle, score flattered Leigh. Atkin, Gene Griffin, that was tense. Atkin, Christopher Sloan, score flattered Leigh. Atkin, Tom Hitchin, having Hooker's help. That's Dupree. Jimmy, Salford Magic. Atkin, Michael Singleton, squeaky bum time. Atkin, Chris Fisher, I need a win. Atkin, James Hoskins, worth the walk. Dupree, Dave H. Ackers is vital. Man of the match was Dupree. Tony Amarore, right. Dupree, Atkin. Chairman Bob settled for that. Dupree, Matt Young, still need props, right. Ben Wheeler wins a win. Atkin. Colin Wilson, 5-state thrilling win. Dupree. Andy Lancashire, great away win. Atkin. Anita, I'll take that. Atkin. Parky said, work butts off. Atkin. You said a big win. Atkin. Natalie Taylor, didn't expect to win. Right. Graham Jones, gutsy team display. Atkin. CNR, 2 big points. Right. Your mate Roy Ellaby, hard fought victory. And Dupree and Dave Parker arm wrestle 1. And his man of the match was Tyler Dupree. But a lot of people obviously talk about hookers and how important, obviously, with Andy Ackers back in the team. It's important. Obviously, you've got choices around the ruck and tiring these big forwards out.
Yeah, Andy Ackers is an international player in England, international. Yeah, we have missed him. You miss his presence on the pitch. You miss his speed around the ruck, his ball distribution as well. And it just allows Chris Atkin that bit more freedom, doesn't it, to play the loose forward role that he likes. And I think he's good at, and he can fill in at hooker as well, can't he? So when you've got Atkin on the pitch, you've got Ackers on the pitch, you've got your 2 halfbacks as well, Sneed and Croft. You've got 4 pivots on there. So the defending team doesn't know what we're going to do half the time, because who's got the ball on the last tackle? You've got 4 players there that if they end up with the ball on the last tackle, they can kick the ball, they can do something with it, you can distribute, they can pass it. So you've got a lot more options there. I think if you look at Huddersfield, they're a bit like that. They've got 2 Ilalaria on there, Will Price, Russell, the other fella as well, Jake Connor. So, a lot of sides are like that now, where they've got these pivots and we seem to be able to work that really well. And, these players work hard as well. I think Brody Croft did an awful lot of tackling in that game and worked his socks off. And, as did Atkin as well. So yeah, but Andy Ackers made a big difference coming back from injury.
Yeah, so great result for Paul Rowley's men. Our learning disabilities rugby league team played against Leigh at half time. Great to have them involved on the pitch at half time, playing in front of a big crowd. Rugby league's for everybody, and it's great. We now have a team that has that ability to play.
Yeah, it certainly does. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant seeing them on the pitch at half time. It's a real buzz, that, playing in front of a live crowd like that, and a big crowd as well. There was another big crowd there, and it was another good atmosphere. I thought it was a good day. You know, I didn't think much of the fireworks because it was too bright to do fireworks really in the daytime. But they had an Elvis impersonator on before the game. I think it was Robbie Williams as well, and just added to the occasion. It was another good occasion, another good rugby league occasion. And yeah, I'm sure the lads and people at half time, was it lads and ladies playing for the Learning
Yep.
Disabilities team? Yeah, I'm sure they had a great time and really, really enjoyed it. I mean, when they played at the Magic Weekend in Newcastle in front of a big crowd like that, they'd have loved it. But no, it was the same again. You know, real passionate crowd at Leigh on Saturday. And great to see people getting involved.
Yeah, so the squad was Jack Heffernan, Dave Heffernan, William Walton, Lily Forbes, Jake Forbes, Leigh Forbes, Ben Blood, Keith Blood, and Jack Jones. So congratulations all on a great performance, and looking forward to more to come from you lads and lasses. So that's the big match report. We've got no news, so we'll see what's happening in the world of rugby league with Whiteside's World of Rugby League. So that was Whiteside's World Rugby League, and now we'll look forward to this weekend's games against Castleford Tigers. So we'll start with the ladies, Paul. They play on Sunday away at Castleford Tigers at the Menderholes Jungle. Their first Super League 2 league game of the season. Going to be exciting.
Yeah, certainly is, and yeah, a massive step up now to the Super League. I caught a bit of the York game against Leeds on Sunday, and yeah, it is. It's a good standard of rugby league, that. So they have the work cut out this season. I'm sure they've worked really hard for it though, and they'll be ready. I think they'll be ready to get underway on Sunday playing at Castleford. Tough place to go. You know, we know that, but yeah, I bet they're well excited for it now. It's been a long time coming the start of the season.
Yeah, it's at the Menderholes Jungle. We don't have details regarding how much it is to get in the ground. I'm sure Castleford or the club will announce that near the time, but it is exciting. Obviously, you know, after a season in the Championship, first season in Super League, and after the two friendlies so far this season, they'll be itching to get in and start performing. Obviously, we're looking forward to it. We've got some good players, haven't we, that, you know, will shine at this level. So it's going to be super exciting to see how they go on.
Yeah, it certainly is. I've seen a lot of the launch photographs and things like that. Louise Felling has been really busy in the media, hasn't she, speaking to people and, you know, getting us publicised and that. And it's been great. There's been a real buzz around the ladies' game, you know, getting underway. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, the start of it. All the hard work's been done now, all the preparation. And this is when you've got to go and put it into practice now. So it is a big step up moving up leagues. But, you know, you don't want to be static as a rugby player, do you? Or as a sports person, for that matter. You want to test yourself. You want to move up and you know, get the cogs moving, don't you? And I'm sure that's what's going to happen this weekend. Massive test going to Castleford. I'm not a big expert on Castleford ladies team, so I don't know how they did last season. I'm pretty sure you'll probably better tell me, but it's going to be a step up, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, obviously I got a little bit of information. They're coached by Matty Faulkner, who was the performance analysis director for the England Rugby League's women side. They finished second bottom of Group 2 last season with 2 wins, but they did have to get dropped down from Group 1 midway through. They do have a ladies sort of pathway which runs really well by all accounts. I think they've been granted a sort of an academy thing that, you know, for, I think it's 2027. So they have a pipeline there of players which we are kind of striving towards. So they're a kind of club that we can look at and think, you know what, in 5 years' time, that's where we want to be.
Yeah, definitely. That is the way to go, isn't it? You know, especially with the pathway and things like that. So yeah, but look at it now. We're testing ourselves against these teams already. So we might be a few years behind, but we've got to put that to bed and go out there and do our best this season. But yeah, these sides are showing us the way to go, aren't they? And doing things right, doing the right processes, and yeah, I'm sure we'll give Casford a real good game at the weekend, and yeah, fancy our chances to get a result.
Yeah. They've got some good players. Caitlin Varley, Liv Riding, Laura Stanworth, and Alana Walker all play for Great Britain Teachers. But if you're Castleford and you're looking at us, we've got Phoebe Partington, Tasca Corran, Helena Walker, and Brogan Evans all played representative rugby in the off season. So they'll be looking at us thinking the same. They've got some good players that we need to look after.
Yeah, you've got a top captain in Louise Fellingham as well, haven't you? You know, someone who knows the game inside out. So yeah, we've got some really good players in that side, haven't we? And plenty of pace as well. And what's more, we've been used to winning games, Rob. You know, last season we won a lot of games. Winning becomes a habit, doesn't it? And that, you know, you build that sort of winning mentality, don't you? And that grows and that sticks within the player's mind. So I think we've got that going for us as well. We've got that confidence, haven't we? So we can take that into the season. There's no doubt about that.
Yep. Do you want to give us a score prediction?
Yeah, we'll do. I'm going to go 24-12 to Salford.
12-24 Salford. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go Salford. I'm going to go Cass 10. Salford 30. Corran hat-trick.
And does this count towards the Nando's, Rob?
If it comes in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's another chance, isn't it? Gives us two chances a week.
Yeah, so good luck to the ladies on Sunday, hopefully. If obviously you can go over to Castleford, I'm sure the club and Cass will announce prices to get in, etc., etc. So, men, they play Castleford on Thursday night. It's on Sky. Paul at the Salford City Stadium. They recently beat their derby rivals Wakefield last week. We beat Leigh, so both going into this match confident after a good win.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a struggling start to the season, haven't they? Losing the coach, Leigh Bradford, and have one or two off the field things and all, didn't they? I suppose we better not talk about. But other than that, they've improved for me last few weeks. They beat Leeds, didn't they, at Weldon Road? They did pretty well against Catalan. I think they went down to a late try there. It was only a couple of points in that game, 22-18 over there, and then obviously they beat Wakefield at Easter. So they've I won't say they've turned the corner, but they've started to get a few players back on higher levels. Played for him again on Thursday against Wakefield, and the squad, you know, when you looked at it when they announced the team, it looked a bit more settled, and you know, so Paul McShane was back, and I think he's a big talisman for them, isn't he? A lot of their players come off Paul McShane, so yeah, they're not a team that you can just say, oh yeah, we'll blow them away. They're no good. I think they've got strike players and they've got danger players as well. I don't think you can take anybody lightly in Super League. I think if you do, you'll get found out. I mean, look at the game against Wakefield. Wakefield can't buy a win, but you know it took us to extra time. So I think we've got to be really wary of this one. And you know, we need a performance at home, Rob. We played 3 games at home and not really impressed, have we? So I think we owe the supporters one at home, and particularly now we've got a bit of momentum. We've had a win there against Leigh, so we've got 4 wins. Let's hit the ground running, man. We've got 2 home games coming up against Cass and Catalan. It'd be great to get 2 victories now and really start hitting our straps.
Yeah, Andy Last has come in after poor starts of the season, seems to have turned it around. From what I'm reading, though, Cass are looking elsewhere, which is a bit strange because he's found a bit of form.
Yeah, I think Andy Last's a really good coach. I mean, I remember him as a player playing for Hull. I think he played around about the same time Leigh Bradford did at Hull, and similar sort of age, I think. But he retired fairly young. I think he had a few injuries. He's done coaching for a long time now. So he's been involved in the international setup as well. He seems a real student of the game, and he's very knowledgeable as well. So I think he'd do a good job if they gave him the job. But yeah, they might be looking elsewhere. But I think at the moment he'll get the best out of that side. They seem to have improved under him. Seem a lot more disciplined as well. So I think they'll be tight. They're not going to come and give things away either. They'll keep it tight and try and take the chances. And you know, they'll be trying to build their defence and keep us out, won't they? So we're going to have to work hard to break them down. I think it'll be difficult to break them down. Wakefield couldn't break them down. I only think they've got 4 points, didn't they? But you know, I'd like to think we're a bit better than that. We can move the ball. So it's going to be a test for us, though. It's going to be a real test. So they've got 1 or 2 ex-Salford players in the lineup as well. They're always a tough side to play against, aren't they? So yeah, I'm sure Andy Lass will have them fired up on Thursday night.
Yeah, McShane's the man for me. Always terrorises us. Someone needs to make sure that he doesn't find a gear on Thursday and Liam. Is it Miller, the scrum half, always busy. But we've got good players as well. We've got Strike. Cass will be looking at us thinking, they've got danger men all over it. If Salford click like they did against Hull, we could be in a bit of bother. But like you said, we have kind of struggled at home. I don't know whether that's because teams are set up to stop us trying to play, or we're not getting quick ball, or we're not getting 6 against, we're not getting territory. But then kind of things do change the more you get switched onto it, and you can, what I say, buy penalties, but get to where we need to go to hurt teams.
Yeah, it seems strange. We seem a lot more galvanised when we play away from home. I don't know what it is. We just seem to play better. Even the loss at Warrington, I thought it was great in that first half. There, we were a lot more adventurous with the ball. We seem a lot tighter. The crowd seems to be behind us. I don't know whether it's a bit more partisan when we all pack in together away from home. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure what the answer is. Like a few years ago, we played in that black kit, didn't we? We always used to play better in the black kit. So sometimes you have these little myths like that, don't you? But no, I think there's a good performance coming from us. But I think there could be a good performance from Cass. I mean, you look at their side; they've got players on there. They've got strike players, like you said. Paul McShane, Miller's a good player as well. They've got some decent forwards in the team, so they're capable of coming to Salford and getting a result. So I think anybody can beat anybody in the Super League at the moment. You've got to be switched on, and you've got to want it. You've got to go out there and want to get the victory and be organised. And that's one thing that we are. We might need a Brodie Croft at halfback. We're an organised side now. If we can get those two playing, get 1 or 2 forwards back. We've not seen the squad yet this week, but I think we've got enough there to trouble Castleford. If you're Andy Lass, Castleford's coach, you'd be worried about us. You'd be worried about Salford, the way we're playing, the way we can throw the ball around. So yeah, we've just got to go out there and play our natural game. I think if we do, I think we'll get the 2 points.
Any news on weather, or is that too soon for you?
It's not so clever this week, is it? It looks like it's going to rain and that. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be that good. I mean, the week after looks pretty good according to my phone. It's got 21 for the week after, but I think this week's a bit miserable in it. So let's have a look now for Thursday.
Don't forget, United are at home on the same day as what happens in these home fixtures. So be careful with traffic. There'll be a few people going up to Old Trafford. Hopefully more trying to get out the AJ Bell, but we'll see.
So it's going to be dry, I think, 12 degrees and 6 degrees. So yeah, I think it's cold weather, Robin. It's not quite the shirt sleeve weather that we had on Saturday at Leigh. It was lovely at Leigh on Saturday. It was a real sort of spring day, wasn't it? Quite warm as well. But I think you'll need your coat on Thursday night. But yeah, it's going to be dry. It's a good pitch at Salford. It's a good fast track. So yeah, let's hope we come out there from the word go and make our intentions, known from the word go. Fast start, put pressure on Castleford, and really get into them and up the ante and let them, play the game at our pace really, and don't let them slow it down. Don't let them bring it down to their level. Let's play it. Let's dictate the pace of the game. And I think if we do that, we'll be too good.
Prediction time.
I haven't thought about one yet, to be honest.
Have you not?
I'm going to go 24-12. I think the same as I said for the ladies one, because I can't really think of a score. No, I think it's quite a round score, that 24-12. Yeah, 24-12 to Salford, and a double try for Ryan Brightly.
Right. I think Salford are going to find their feet on Thursday. Like you said, had a few struggles at home. So I'm going to go big score for Salford. I'm going to go Salford 50, Cass 6. And hat-trick Cancillo.
Yeah. I'd settle for that. I think that'd be great, especially with us playing Catalan the week after at home. I think 2 home games now. If we can get 2 wins now, that's really going to build us, isn't it? That going into the summer months. This could be a pivotal time of the season. If we get a win against Cass and then another win against Catalan, you've got 12 points then. So we'll be looking good, won't we? So yeah, really excited. I'm really looking forward to Thursday night. We've got the building for the future game as well, isn't it? So there's going to be a lot of kids there, and it's still summer holidays, I think, for a lot of people. So there should be a terrific atmosphere, loads of people there. So it should be good.
Yeah. Before we go, so I say big thanks to all the people that were donated via the Ko-fi. Obviously, without you, none of this can happen. It's just be 3 lads and a laptop. So massive thanks for helping us fund the different programs that we use and the equipment that we buy to help make your podcast experience better, Paul.
Yeah, certainly. We need to have a brew as well soon, don't we? We've not had a brew
We
for a
do.
bit, me and you, have we, and Parky? So, so hopefully we can organise that soon. But yeah, thanks for all the listeners, and thanks for all the nice comments and likes and interacting with us on the social media as well, because it means a lot to us, doesn't it? All the support we get off you.
Yeah. So if you do want to buy us a coffee, follow the link on our socials and buy me, Parky, and Paul a coffee and help us continue to make great podcasts for you to enjoy. So big thanks for tuning to this week's Devil in the Detail podcast. Paul, a short one, but a good one.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Yeah, Miss Parker. Hopefully we'll get him on again next week and have a good chat. But yeah, I've enjoyed it, mate. Good to speak to you. And it's a short turnaround this week for us, isn't it? So we've had to hurry up and short turnaround for the players, but short turnaround for us as well. So yeah, I shall see you on Thursday, mate.
Yeah, so big thanks for tuning to this week's Devil in the Detail podcast. I'm Rob Parkinson. You can find us on Facebook, Devil in the Detail SRD. You can find us on Twitter at DITDSRD. And you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Radio Contact, Spotify, and YouTube. See you soon.